Hello everybody, my name is Austin Belknap and I'm a first year resident at the University of Florida Oral Pathology Department. I had a couple of questions that I want to address for the ADEA application in particularly. So just a little background on me. I graduated from LeComm School of Dental Medicine back in June 2018 and started this residency program a month later in July. So the first address that I want to do is top tips for reformatting your resume for the admissions process. So I would say most importantly, or what took me the longest for my application, was my personal statement. I started planning it months and months before the application even opened and had many people read over it. If you can have 10, 20 people read over your personal statement that you are well aware that can give you good advice or criticism and critiques, I would highly suggest having them read it. So I had all of my instructors pretty much read over it. I had everybody that was writing me a recommendation letter read over it. And then I also actually sent it to some people that are currently in the residency program or were current residents in the program that I was interested in. So now for the personal statement, order is key. So I started off my personal statement with a quote, and then I listed in that first paragraph my different characteristics or credentials that I think made me fit as an applicant. So the first paragraph after my introduction was my diagnostic capabilities, and I gave an example of that I had in dental school. My second key factor was research oriented, and that's very, very important in my field with oral pathology. And the third paragraph was about how I'm compassionate and empathetic and how I want to continue serving my community, which is a very important key factor in the world of dentistry, any specialty that you're in. So again, with order, we want to look at your CV. Your CV needs to have order. So I'm going to pull mine up right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't. But I started off with what's most important to the particular residency program that you're applying to. So they like to see where you got your dental degree. So of course I started with education. And then the second thing that I stated, which was on the first page of your CV, is my research experience. Because like I said, it is very, very important and very, very top priority for this type of residency. Next, I did committee appointments. So that was my leadership skills or where I was leadership in. Then membership in societies, service and volunteer, my work experience, my shadowing experience, and then my academic enrichment programs. So other events that you've been to. So externships, leadership conferences, conventions, and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps. So the next one I wanted to go down is managing interview schedules while completing your fourth year dental school. Because I'm a very recent graduate of my dental school, I thought this would be helpful for some people. So your interview scheduling. I think the one bit of advice that I got from a perio resident that graduated the year before me is she said to budget exactly your interviews. So I only applied to 3 programs out of the 14 CODA accredited programs. And I got an interview at each and every one and 2 acceptances. And I did not go to an interview for my third one. And the reason why, I think it was mostly because of budgeting. I was planning my wedding, I was graduating from dental school, I was selling my house in Bradenton and buying a house in Gainesville, and I didn't know exactly where I would be located. So my budgeting was very, very strict and condensed. And the interview that I rejected was actually a 2-day interview. So it was just a lot. You got to think about the cost of the flight itself, the cost of food. You have to make sure that your apparel is up to date. So business is very important. So the attire is very important. You don't want to be business casual. I would actually overdress for interviews. I know some people feel differently, but overdressing, you'd rather be overdressed than underdressed is what my mom would always tell me. So the cost, again, just make sure you budget. Budgeting is very important, not just through your interview process, but throughout life. So the next one I wanted to talk about is best resources for getting through the admissions process. So you want to become familiar with the hierarchy of the programs that you're applying to. So there's usually a chief resident, and then there's the ascending or descending, I guess you could say, classes underneath that chief resident. So I made sure that I did an externship, and my dental school had a very strict attendance policy. So any day that we missed, we had to make it up during holidays or breaks or something like that. So any interviews that I had to make up those days. So I stayed during Thanksgiving, I stayed during Christmas break just to make up those days, but it was worth it. Externships were worth it. I did a week externship here and I got familiar with the people here, and it's very, very important to know that hierarchy, like I stated previously, of the programs that you're applying to. And last but not least, establishing personal values and priorities before applying to residency programs. You have to remember that they're going to look at you as a holistic applicant. So when you are ordering your CV, make sure that you include any type of volunteer programs that you did or program events that you did. Like, for example, I adopted a retired racing greyhound, and I volunteered at many of the kennels and walked the dogs, cleaned after them, and then also went to their volunteer events. And I made sure that I put that on there because technically it's not dentistry related, but as they can see holistically as an applicant, I am well-rounded, and it's not just dental volunteer events that I go to. So I think that's extremely important. Just remember in the back of your mind, they're looking at you holistically. So not just, oh, I love dentistry and this is all me and I'm 110% dentistry. You are a person and you do have a life outside of dental school, and you will once you graduate and go into a specialty or start practicing. So remember that they think of that. So if you have any other questions, I believe that they'll give you my contact information, and I hope and wish you all the best of luck graduating and also applying to your respective programs. And please let me know if I can help any further. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.